It's one of the saddest and most complicated stories Hollywood has seen in years. A story filled with private battles, legal twists, and a final chapter that left fans both grieving and furious. Over the last week, the truth behind Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock's journey has unraveled in a way no one expected. And the more people look back, the more impossible it becomes to separate compassion from outrage. From the outside, it looked like a simple tragedy, a father gone too soon after a private illness. But behind the scenes were years of conflict, rulings, filings, and moments that forced Kelly to choose between the spotlight and her family. This is the full story of what happened, why fans are conflicted, and how the timeline explains every emotion flooding social media. When the headline broke, it hit like a brick. Brandon Blackstock had passed at 48 after a private fight with cancer. Within minutes, Kelly Clarkson shut everything down: her Vegas shows, her interviews, her schedule, her entire public life. She closed the door, stayed home with River Rose and Remington, and made motherhood her only job. No statements, no press-ready message, no curated grief, just silence. And that silence told fans everything they needed to know. The world grieved a life lost too soon. But something else rose to the surface at the exact same time: anger. Because fans remembered the paperwork, they remembered the rulings. They remembered the 3-year legal fight that forced Kelly to reclaim money tied to her own work. And they remembered how much she carried on her shoulders while Brandon disappeared into Montana. That is where the conflict begins, two emotions crashing into each other. Long before the illness, long before the move to Montana, the whispers had already begun. Years back, an online publication posted rumors accusing Brandon of stepping out on Kelly. In the comments, an account with Kelly's name appeared, responding, "This is absolutely absurd. The woman who posted this used to be my personal assistant until I fired her for trying to steal from me." Fans still debate whether that comment was truly Kelly's, but the rumor was enough to spark a storm. It didn't end the marriage, but it planted a seed, a sense that something behind the scenes wasn't as perfect as the red carpets made it look. Then came 2020. Kelly filed for divorce, and the fairy tale people believed in was replaced with filings, hearings, spreadsheets, and fights over money and control. The story shifted from celebrity romance to courtroom grind. And once the doors to that courtroom opened, everything changed. As Kelly kept taping her show, rehearsing, touring, and raising her kids, the legal side moved forward without mercy. Documents revealed a business problem hiding inside their marriage. According to rulings, some commissions Brandon collected should never have been collected at all. Money tied to Kelly's work had to be returned. Fans weren't angry because of divorce drama. They were angry because a legal decision said lines were crossed. Kelly was building a career empire, while also fighting to take back what filings claimed wasn't handled correctly in the first place. That wound didn't disappear when the news of his passing broke. It resurfaced fast, and it shaped how millions of people reacted. After the legal dust settled, Brandon did something unusual for someone so connected to the industry. He vanished. No interviews, no comeback attempts, no image cleaned up. Instead, he packed up and left Hollywood completely. Montana became his world. There were no cameras, no spotlights, no deadlines. Just horses, cattle, open land, and the pace he grew up with around his father Narvel Blackstock. A country music-rooted lifestyle far away from the chaos of Los Angeles. He helped build Valley View Rodeo, a community-centered project with small crowds, local families, and slow evenings under the sky. It wasn't a rebrand. It was retreat. A chance to return to the version of himself that existed before the headlines. But the public didn't forget. The last image fans had of him wasn't Montana sunsets. It was courtroom filings. And that contrast only sharpened the anger when the news of his passing came out. Behind closed doors, Brandon was fighting something far more brutal than the public realized. A private cancer diagnosis, A battle he chose to keep completely hidden from the world. There were no hospital photo ops, no sourced leaks, no dramatic updates shared with the press. His circle kept everything tight because he wanted it that way. He spent his final years writing small notes to his children. Inside jokes, advice, little pieces of himself he hoped they would keep forever. He kept in touch with Savannah and Seth, offering simple guidance. Pick a path, show up, be kind when it's hard. His world shrank to what mattered most: his kids, his family, the Montana sky, and the time he had left. This part of the story is heartbreaking, and it deserves respect, but fans struggled with something no obituary could erase: the fact that compassion and accountability now existed in the same space. While Brandon spent his final years in quiet, Kelly was in the center of the storm. She was hosting a daily talk show, recording music, touring, raising her kids, moving her life across states, and still handling the fallout from a marriage that had become a legal labyrinth. Even after everything, she made one final choice that defined her character. When she learned how serious Brandon's condition was, she stopped everything. She turned off the noise, postponed her Vegas residency, and focused on one thing: helping River and Remy navigate the hardest moment of their lives. No photo ops, no public breakdowns, no fishing for sympathy. Just a mother doing the work. This is why supporters feel so protective of her. Even at the end, the emotional balance was uneven. Brandon got the privacy he wanted, but Kelly carried both the public pressure and the private weight. Fans saw that imbalance, and it added to the sting. The legal record is the part no one can ignore. For years, Kelly paid over $3 million in commissions to his father's management company, large monthly support, ranch upkeep, fees, pandemic property costs, and more than $1 million to finalize the settlement. She didn't cut ties easily. She tried to build a life, a family, and a partnership. The irony? Brandon's father had also been Reba McEntire's ex-manager, another relationship that ended in controversy. When fans look at the full timeline, it's not just grief they feel. It's frustration over everything Kelly pushed through while still trying to stay strong for her kids. Two truths can coexist. A father fought to protect his children at the end, and a ruling still says Kelly had to recover money tied to her own career. That's why this story still burns. In early August 2025, Kelly paused her residency and flew under the radar to be near the children. By August 7th, Brandon passed away peacefully at home, surrounded by family. No cameras, no press, just the people who loved him. The Blackstock family released a brief statement. Kelly shared nothing more than necessary. She wasn't going to turn tragedy into content. While fans were sending condolences, others were revisiting the old paperwork. Not out of disrespect, but because grief doesn't make the past disappear. The two emotions, sadness and anger, ran parallel. And that's exactly why the story still feels unfinished. Kelly Clarkson never wanted to be the center of a tabloid storm. She wanted a family, a home, a stable life, and when it all fell apart, she remained the one holding everything steady, emotionally, financially, and publicly. Meanwhile, Brandon built a peaceful life in Montana, removed from the noise. While Kelly worked nonstop with cameras in her face, when the final chapter came, he chose privacy. Kelly chose her kids, and the court record sits between those choices like a reminder of everything she endured. That doesn't make Brandon a villain, and it doesn't erase the pain his family now carries, but it does explain why millions of Kelly's supporters feel torn between sympathy and anger, because the past didn't fade away. It followed them into the final chapter. At the center of everything are 4 children who lost a father, and a mother who cleared her life to protect them. That part is simple. That part is human. That part matters the most. Memory boxes will stay full. Inside jokes will survive. Notes he wrote will outlive the headlines, and years from now, when the noise has finally burned out, those kids will remember not the legal battles, but the love that was left behind. Brandon Blackstock's story is complicated. Kelly Clarkson's journey is painful but powerful. And the truth sits in the middle, difficult, emotional, and layered. If you're grieving, you're not wrong. If you're angry, you're not alone. If you feel both, then you finally understand the story, because this wasn't just a celebrity breakup. It was a family trying to survive love, loss, conflict, and the final chapter no one was ready for.